The mindset of a profitable trader is not something that appears suddenly. When the equity curve turns positive, it is something that is trained quietly through daily habits long before consistent profits arrive. Trading literature, written by those who have survived decades in the markets, rarely attributes success to brilliance or prediction. Instead, it returns again and again to discipline practiced in ordinary moments, habits repeated when motivation is low, and a relationship with process that remains intact regardless of outcome. A profitable trader is not defined by what they do on their best days, but by what they refuse to do on their worst ones. At the core of this mindset is a different relationship with time. Beginners often treat each day as a chance to prove something, to make progress visible through action. Profitable traders see the day as one small unit in a very long sequence. This shift removes urgency. There is no need to force trades' rush decisions or recover losses immediately. Daily habits are designed not to maximize opportunity, but to minimize damage. This long horizon thinking is one of the first quiet markers of maturity. One of the most important daily habits is preparation without attachment. Profitable traders prepare thoroughly, reviewing level scenarios and risk parameters before the session begins, but they do not expect the market to cooperate. Preparation is an act of readiness, not prediction. This distinction matters. When preparation is attached to expectation, deviation feels like failure. When it is detached, deviation is simply information. The disciplined trader arrives prepared, but emotionally neutral, willing to act only if conditions align, and equally willing to do nothing if they do not. Another defining habit is consistency in routine. Profitable traders reduce variability in their daily process so that variability in results can be attributed to the market rather than behavior. Wake times review practices, session durations, and post-market analysis are kept deliberately stable. This consistency creates a psychological baseline. When something feels off, it is easier to detect because the surrounding structure is familiar. Discipline in this sense is not rigidity, but reliability. Risk discipline is also lived daily, not enforced only after losses. Profitable traders respect risk even when confidence is high. Position sizing rules are followed without negotiation. Daily loss limits are honored without justification. This is not because the trader lacks confidence, but because they understand how quickly confidence can become distortion. Many trading books note that the most dangerous moment is after a string of wins, when rules begin to feel optional. Discipline exists precisely to protect against this illusion. Emotional awareness is another daily practice embedded in the profitable mindset. Traders who remain consistent do not suppress emotion. They observe it. They notice signs of impatience, fatigue, or overconfidence early and adjust behavior accordingly. This might mean reducing size, taking a break, or ending the session altogether. The habit here is listening rather than pushing. Profitable traders understand that ignoring emotional signals does not make them disappear. It only makes their influence less conscious and more dangerous. Journaling, when done properly, becomes a cornerstone of discipline, not a record of wins and losses, but a record of decisions and states of mind. Profitable traders review their behavior with the same seriousness they once reserved for chart patterns. Over time, this practice builds self-trust. When rules are followed consistently, confidence grows organically. When they are broken, the cost is visible and difficult to rationalize away. Discipline strengthens not through punishment, but through clarity. Another subtle but powerful habit is restraint during uncertainty. Profitable traders are comfortable standing aside when conditions are unclear. They do not equate inactivity with failure. This ability to wait is trained daily, reinforced every time a marginal setup is ignored. Over time, this restraint compounds into selectivity, and selectivity is what gives an edge room to express itself. The discipline to not trade is often harder than the discipline to execute, yet it is equally essential. Perhaps the most overlooked element of a profitable trader's mindset is humility practiced daily. Markets change, edges weaken, personal circumstances shift. Profitable traders do not assume permanence. They review, adapt, and remain teachable. This humility prevents complacency and keeps discipline alive. Confidence is grounded in process, not entitlement. Losses are accepted without drama, and wins are managed without euphoria. Emotional extremes are avoided, not through suppression, but through perspective. Ultimately, the mindset of a profitable trader is built through small, unremarkable actions repeated faithfully. It is a mindset that values preservation over excitement, clarity over activity, and discipline over drama. Daily habits shape identity, and identity shapes behavior under pressure. Over time, these habits turn discipline into default behavior rather than constant effort. And it is at this point, when following the plan feels more natural than breaking it, that profitability stops feeling fragile and begins to feel sustainable. Even though the work itself never truly ends and must be renewed each day through attention, restraint, and the quiet willingness to keep honoring process when no one is watching and nothing obvious is happening. Yet the mindset of a profitable trader enters its most demanding phase, because discipline is no longer something you consciously apply. It is something you must consciously protect. When habits become automatic, complacency becomes the real enemy. Trading literature written by long-term professionals often notes that the greatest drawdowns occur not during periods of struggle, but during periods of ease, when rules feel internalized and attention subtly drifts. Staying profitable requires a different kind of effort, the effort to remain alert even when things appear to be working. At this stage, daily habits are less about building structure and more about maintaining sharpness. Profitable traders develop the habit of checking in with themselves before checking the market. They ask not whether there is opportunity, but whether they are fit to engage with it. This self-audit is quiet and brief, yet deeply protective. Fatigue, distraction, or emotional residue from outside life are treated as risk factors, not inconveniences to be pushed through. Discipline here means adjusting behavior to match internal conditions, even when the market appears attractive. Another evolution in mindset is how mistakes are handled. For the profitable trader, mistakes are no longer emotionally charged events. They are process deviations that require correction. There is no spiral of self-criticism, but there is also no excuse-making. This balanced response preserves mental capital. The daily habit is not perfection, but rapid course correction. A small lapse addressed immediately prevents a pattern from forming, and this vigilance keeps discipline intact over time. The relationship with rules also matures. Early on, rules feel restrictive. Later, they feel protective. Now they feel collaborative. Profitable traders refine their rules slowly and sparingly, not in response to single outcomes, but in response to consistent evidence. This restraint prevents the system from becoming reactive. Discipline here is expressed through patience, allowing enough data to accumulate before change is considered. The habit is one of deliberate evolution, rather than constant adjustment. Another defining daily practice is intentional disengagement. Profitable traders know when to stop. They do not trade simply because the market is open, and they do not extend sessions to chase closure. Ending the day according to plan, especially after a strong win or a frustrating loss, is one of the clearest expressions of discipline. This habit reinforces the understanding that tomorrow matters more than today's emotion. Longevity is protected, not by heroic effort, but by timely restraint. Over time, discipline also reshapes self-talk. The internal dialogue becomes quieter and more functional. There is less commentary, less judgment, and more observation. Thoughts describe rather than evaluate. This mental economy preserves focus. Profitable traders are not free from doubt or emotion. They are free from being dominated by them. This is not achieved through suppression, but through familiarity. Repeated exposure to uncertainty without overreaction trains the mind to remain steady. As the mindset stabilizes, trading integrates more cleanly into life rather than competing with it. Daily habits support sleep health and relationships because the trader understands that cognitive clarity does not exist in isolation. Discipline extends beyond charts into boundaries. Profitable traders protect time away from markets with the same seriousness they protect capital within them. This balance is not indulgent. It is strategic. Burnout erodes discipline long before it shows up in results. In the end, the mindset of a profitable trader is revealed not in moments of confidence, but in moments of temptation. The temptation to overtrade, to over-risk, to prove something to shortcut process. Each day presents small opportunities to drift, and discipline is the habit of choosing alignment instead. It is quiet, repetitive, and largely invisible to others. Yet over time, these daily choices compound into stability. If there is a single truth that emerges from studying profitable traders, it is that discipline is not a personality trait, but a practice renewed daily. It is built through habits that protect focus, respect limits, and prioritize longevity over excitement. When these habits are in place, the mindset takes care of itself, and trading becomes less about managing markets and more about maintaining the internal conditions under which sound decisions can continue to be made, day after day, without drama, without urgency, and without the constant feeling that something must be forced for progress to occur.